Hey guys, welcome to my video. Today we're going to take a quick look at the DC Multiverse McFarlane Bullseye Batman. So this is the Platinum Edition, and it's not called the Platinum Edition because there's another version. It's called the Platinum Edition because I guess it's hard to find. So on the front of the box, we get a look at the action figure, which looks pretty awesome. It's DC Multiverse Bullseye Batman, and on the side it says Bullseye Batman. It's got a barcode and everything. And then on the back, we have a photoshopped version of Detective Comics 241. On the actual cover, instead of wearing the Bullseye bat suit, he wore a pink suit, or as what they claim to be a red suit. And honestly, I actually like that they photoshopped this, because even though that's not actually what the cover looks like, he never wore it on the cover. The only way you would see it is by one panel, and that would look kind of odd. So honestly, this Photoshop works pretty well, and it's actually really well made. On the side, it says Bullseye Batman, Detective Comics 241. On the top, it just shows the top of his head. And then on the bottom, we got just different information. So let's take this figure out of the box and look at the figure. Here's the figure out of the box, and here's everything that he comes with. So first up, he comes with these fist hands. Try to get those focused. And next up, he comes with this little batarang. He also does come with a trading card of the Bullseye Batman and a stand. So the figure stands about 7 inches, so it'd work the same with every other figure in your McFarlane collection. Sadly, they will not work with Marvel Legends because Marvel Legends are 6 inch. I really like the cloth capes that McFarlane adds to these figures. Some people prefer the plastic capes. It really all depends. I'm more of a fabric cape guy. And one cool thing to mention is that it actually does have the bullseye on it. One thing that I will say is that it is a slightly silvery material on the back, so it does not perfectly match the cowl. The inside actually does match better. So this is actually my first encounter with the Nightfall body, and honestly, I'm really disappointed that I did not pick up the blue one. They had the blue Nightfall Batman for a while at a local Walmart, and the reason why I didn't pick it up is every time I picked it up, I go, I don't really like the head sculpt, and then I would put it back because I would think, oh, I'll save my money for something else. But after looking at the cowl with the black around the eyes, I realized that this is actually a really good Batman head. Also, I'm going to straighten out the ears because I never like when the ears are pointed inwards. That looks a lot better. So the main attraction is the bullseye. I figured out the biggest flaw with this figure. They did not paint any more of the bullseye other than this. So any dynamic poses you're going to get, there's just going to be nothing but blank white. So you're going to have to bend them down about that much because any more, and it's just, yeah, that's really disappointing. I think that the white, even though I prefer it with the classic colors, really pops on Batman. I don't understand why Batman chose to have a bullseye logo. It's kind of odd. Most people don't like the ball joints, but honestly, I think that these like more fabric looking joints actually don't look very good, and I would actually prefer the ball joints over this, because it looks like a crumbled up sock next to his hand. I was posing around the figure. The posability is really nice on this figure. But I actually prefer this Batman body over the Hush body. Over the 3 Jokers body, I'll have to compare them, but honestly, I really like this one. It makes me think of that classic Batman era from the 70s and 80s. I know it was supposed to be Nightfall, but this is a very Neil Adams looking Batman. And that is one of my favorite Batman artists. So let's see what his accessories look like. Accessories. So here's the figure with one fist hand and him holding the batarang. Because of the bullseye, this figure should have been a Target exclusive. So I'm going to compare this Bullseye Batman next to other McFarlane figures in my collection. Here is the Bullseye Batman next to the Plastic Man Wave 3 Jokers Batman. I like the Nightfall body more than the 3 Jokers body. I do like this Batman look, but I think that if I was going for Batman figures, I like the Nightfall look more because that's the Batman that I grew up with. Here is the Bullseye Batman next to the Detective Comics 27 Batman, which uses the Hush body. This is another reason why I like the Nightfall body, is that it is to scale with most of the McFarlane figures, while the other 2 bodies are a little too tall. I really want to see like a re-release of the Detective Comics 27 using this body, because I think this is the best body for that kind of Batman. But, you know, this body's fine. It's just that I I do not like this one as much as I like the body for this Batman. And here's what the Bullseye Batman looks next to the animated series colored Mr. Freeze figure. This is the third remake of this figure and definitely my favorite colored one. And last but not least, here's the Bullseye Batman next to the DC Classics Superman. My final thoughts on the figure: I really like this figure, but the Bullseye logo on him, when he bends up, there's nothing there. Not even just a little hint of a black line. It just immediately stops, even when you barely lift it up. I think they should have added some more paint to compensate. Actually, I think that the Bullseye should have been a little higher. I think it should have been up to there at least. I wish that this was less silvery and more of a matte color. I do really like the Bullseye on it. I think that it should be slightly lower. In the front, it actually is the perfect shade of white. And some of the joints on the figure are very, very loose, which is really disappointing. Good things about the figure: I think that this is probably my favorite Batman figure in my collection. I really want to get the Nightfall and even the black and gray one, because I really, really like this Batman body. I will mention that recently they made a 40s style Batman with Ace the Bat Hound. It's got the right head. I think that they should have waited on this so that they can reuse that head for this body to make it look more like how it did in the actual issue. Because even though I really like this head a lot, I think that if they were going for a Batman that actually looked like the issue, they would have chose the newer Batman head that they released. So I think all of that aside, I will give this figure a 7. I really like the figure, and honestly, it's definitely my favorite Batman in my collection, but the whole Bullseye thing and the cape being more of a silvery and some of the joints being too loose is pretty disappointing. And the cowl being more of a newer cowl when it should have been the classic 40s one. So, thank you all for watching. Leave a like on the video if you like it. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.